Hola, bon dia. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show with expatsportugal.com. Wow, what a week it's been. We've had so many lovely people join us this week, talked about so many fascinating things. If I just do a quick recap, what was it? On Monday, we spoke to Julian Sorensen. We've spoken to Sandy of Swara Slow Living up in Aveiro this week. We talked about the trash traveller. We had the wonderful Gilles de Pereira and her colleague Christina joining us last night to talk about the D7 and NHR tax regimes. Very diverse we are here on the Portugal call webinar last night, and the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club led by Ninja Neil last night, of course. So what an amazing week it's been. And sorry to leave so many things out of that quick recap, but we've got a wonderful guest today as well. Dhruba's here, old friend of the show. He's been with us along the way since we started. We're back in the spring, and we're getting a tour of his garden today, his happy homestead, which is going to be fantastic. Before we do that, a very quick look at the weather, just to tell you what's going on with the residue, the tail end, hopefully, of Barbara as she goes, dissipates, I suppose. Hopefully she's not going somewhere else to cause trouble. She is dissipating. Hope you're well this morning. Let's have a look at the date and day, shall we, in our attempts to learn Portuguese. And let me just get that scrolling across the screen. Sexta-feira, Friday, dia 23 de outubro. It's the 23rd of October, folks. I need to let you know about the travel ban as well, don't I? On not this weekend, but the one after. That's lockdown, COVID pandemic news here for Portugal this morning as well. Not lockdown, but a restriction on travel. I should have put that better. So how are you doing this morning? Do let me know who you are, where you are, and how you are feeling this morning as you approach the weekend. Maybe let us into a few of your not your holiday plans, well, maybe your holiday plans, but your weekend plans here in Portugal. Probably getting in your garden and dealing with the residue of Barbara. Weather page slow to load again this morning. Maybe it's a little bit hungover from the wine club last night. Whilst it's trying to sort itself out, let me just quickly then tell you about this situation with the travel restrictions that are coming up the weekend after next. I'll try and share this on the screen for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Where are we? Facebook, sharing it from the Safe Communities Portugal page on Facebook. Yeah, there we go. Government prohibits travel between municipalities. First when I read that, I thought, oh, that's the districts, but no, it's the municipality level. So no travel between 1 minute after midnight on October the 30th to 23:59 on November the 3rd. That is, of course, the weekend corresponding to the Day of the Dead, the celebration. Well, not I said celebration of our ancestors, I guess, and remembrance of the past, which will include, of course, a homage to those who've died from COVID-19 here in Portugal. So you need to be careful there. Do not travel beyond your municipality, folks. More details there at Safe Communities Portugal, and I've put something in the expatsportugal.com forum as well, because some people are concerned, obviously, if they fly back in during that time, how do they move from the airport? So I imagine there will be discretion exercise there, because obviously you can't just land in Faro Airport municipality and then stay there until it's over. I imagine you will be allowed to travel home, but we're trying to get some clarification on that for you as well. Okay, so let's see what's happening with the weather situation. Okay, we got it now. 14 degrees, partly cloudy in Lisbon, a high of 20 today. The sun has returned to Lisbon according to the forecast. A cloudy weekend, maybe a bit of rain on Sunday in the capital. In Porto, those endless days of rain don't seem to be unchanged in the forecast. 13 degrees and mostly cloudy in Porto this morning. 17 degrees the high. So still quite mild, but rain all the way in Porto up in the north. Coimbra, 13 degrees, partly cloudy at the moment, and it will rise to 19 today, last day of rain. There's a break from the rain tomorrow, Saturday, and it returns next week, unfortunately, in this part of the country. Faro, 16 degrees and clear, 21 the high. Nice looking weekend. A bit cloudy on Sunday in Faro. So there's your weather, and it is my great privilege and honor to call to the screen our dear friend, Dhruba. How are you, Dhruba, in Sintra this morning?
Very good, and very happy with this beautiful sunshine after a few days of heavy rain. That was very hard first few days, but today is very sunshine. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's lovely to talk to you because, as I said, you were
Oh,
here with us early when we first started doing this, and
yeah.
you were a regular viewer,
Oh,
listener, joining us, and I can hear the cockerels in your garden. You are the to me you are among the sort of leading happy homesteaders in Portugal among the expat
no,
community. It's
no.
amazing what you're doing, and I think we're going to have a little bit of a tour. But the story begins in Nepal, of course, and just to set the scene, do you want to tell us what you were doing over there? You're in your country of your birth and
Yeah.
origin.
Well, yeah, our journey kind of started with my wife Goma around 98. 98, we started doing some trekking around the Himalayas and the villages and the communities because we were trying to, like share the gospel at the same time, trying to kind of get to know the communities better because we belong to the mountains. So as we were going through through the villages, and we found out that there was a crucial problem about human trafficking. Girls as young as 9, 10 years old being sold for as low as $150 across the India, because us and the India border is very, very close, close as a distance, but the open as a freedom. So they could just cross it back and forth like that. So we found out that problem. Then me and my wife, we just couldn't sleep, without doing something, and we really lost our sleeps. And we thought, hey, let's find out the more details about what is going on about girl trafficking. Like people losing girls without telling their parents, being gone. Then we decided going around the schools and the communities, trying to find out the real story. So the real story was the girls were not allowed to go to school. So they had a very lack of awareness about where they're heading to. So obviously the poverty was the crucial line. So because of lacking of the funds and the money, survival hard ratio, they thought, well, any opportunity is good for them, anything they can make money, but they didn't know where they're heading to. So obviously for the looking for the better life, better jobs, they were being kidnapped, or the kind of caught by the traffickers, or stranger looking. And child marriage back then was, it still is, back then was very common. So they just come as a guy and get married off and cross the border overnight, 12 hours train, and sold it in the brothel and be gone. Anyway, that story really, really motivated us, kind of what's going on, try to find out more details. So me and my wife went to India, did some research for almost 6 months. We lived around brothel, but when we saw it at the first time, it was really, really awful. But when we found out that was really, really happening, young girls being makeup on their face, standing for the customers, and the guards around the brothel, that was just killer for us. Like, this is
Break.
just nothing that makes us happy with what's going on there. So we
Yeah.
really hidden ourselves and tried to make some connection. What can we do? So we started research phase then. Then we came back to Nepal and tried to connect with the leaders, community leaders, pastors, wherever we can go to, trying to find out the kind of solution in any kind of way we could do. So we received, eight ladies, and three kids were born in brothel at that time, first lot. So we had to look after them because we really wanted to bring them back to the community where they belong to. Then within a few months, one of the lady died, and we had no paperwork, nothing. And the reason she was died was she had HIV/AIDS, which I had no clue about what that disease was. Then with that being said, I said, like, okay, we have to do something. We need to learn what this disease is, and we have to, like, get into the medical part, or like hospital, how we can help. But after we lost that lady, we had this son left with us who was only a year and a half old. So what we're going to do with the paperwork with him? So we kind of got a little help from the church and started a shelter for those people. At the same time, we tried to find out what is our long-term solution. So
Mhm.
we couldn't do much because we had very limited resources. So then I decided, well, we have to help them medically. Then I decided go into the counseling classes, and my wife went into the learning into rehabilitation process, how we can rehabilitate them, then try to integrate back to the community. That was our main goal. And when we brought them back, and when the community found out that they have HIV/AIDS, then community completely blocked their doors to receive them, even with their mom and dad, which they
Wow.
had zero knowledge about HIV/AIDS. So we had
Yeah.
to learn about HIV/AIDS. I had to go to medical school. I did medical school like 3 years plus 2 years practice. Then we started a hospice care. which you have, you have pictures there. That is
Yeah.
our, like, our home converted into the hospice care kind of thing. And so we gave our house. We had a different house on the rented, but during the earthquake, we sold our own property before. Then we built this during earthquake with the help of our church volunteers and friends, and kind of came and helped us. Then we just sold the other property and built this property in order to look after those women and children who we rescued. But the beautiful thing is, the lady who died on our lap, and the son that left out is our first adopted son, who you can
Wow.
see on the back with the white t-shirt, hoodies, and he's looking after the project right now. And my brother-in-law is a pastor, and a sister. They are having a church nearby, and they're looking after the work. And then we had to kind of, with the journey, then we decided kind of come to Portugal, and I can tell you more about the Portugal journey later.
This Dhruba, this is incredible. You're obviously an amazing man, amazing family, and what you've done. And we haven't even talked about Portugal yet. And we can see in the picture there. So this is the community that you created in your efforts to, I mean, basically be a crusader, a caped crusader against human trafficking, helping people understand HIV and AIDS, and integrating people from quite a difficult and challenging life and set of circumstances into a more stable family home. Have I got that about right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And there they are in the picture
Uh-huh.
there with
Uh-huh.
smiles on their faces. So that's your old place, and the lad who you adopted. What's his name?
My oldest son name is Bikram.
Bikram is
Yeah.
there. He's taking care of business back in Nepal, is he?
Yeah, and he's doing that, and he has a couple of more years to go in his college. And I'm trying to find out the process how I can get him over here, because I heard there's like 24 years of age restrictions, but he's right around there, so I cannot lose him, bring him right now. And if I wait a couple of years, what's going to happen? That's kind of thing I'm
Oh,
right
dear.
now.
Well, that's going to be an amazing reunion when that happens. And of course, you've had an
Absolutely.
earthquake in Nepal to contend with in all of that as well.
Hmm.
We're obviously living in the pandemic COVID times, and people will remember, when you mentioned it this morning when we were talking briefly before about the earthquake.
Exactly. Yeah.
That news is just long gone, isn't it? The news focus moves on. We're
Yeah.
preoccupied with the pandemic. People in Nepal are
Absolutely.
still recovering from the earthquake, aren't they, even to this day?
Believe it or not, like many communities, they try to put back on their feet, try to build something up. And we have like 4 or 5 months of heavy flood every year. And the moment they build, they washed away again. Just along
Unbelievable.
this past couple of weeks, actually 2 months, they lost about 150 lives, more than the COVID, by the flood. So
Yeah.
that's how the situation, and the rebuilding is always hard in our country, especially with the flood and the rain monsoon.
Incredible, incredible. Okay, so
Hmm.
a few people have already tuned in and joining us, listening to this incredible story of the horrors of human life, as well as the beautiful, inspiring responses that come about in the form of you and your wife and your extended
Hmm.
family now. Sean, bon dia, my dear, from Sean. A familiar greeting from him. Morning, beautiful day here on the coast. Can't stay. Got to get out, get the car MOT'd. Fingers crossed. Yeah, all the best with that. Bussard, Valerie, with your car today. Bon dia, Carl, from a bit warmer Wiesbaden, Germany. And stunning morning here. Life is good, says Paul. Glad to hear it, Paul. You're settling in nicely. Bon dia, Carl, from a very wet and miserable Knutsford. Unfortunately, stuck here for the next 3 months. See you next year, Claire and Steve. Stay tuned, Claire and Steve. We'll try and keep your Portugal pilot lights lit in that 3-month period. And Rod Skeet dropping in to say hi as well. Hope to get time to chat soon. Maybe, just maybe, we'll be in our new home soon. Yes, all the best with that, Rod, as well. So that brings a story then to you coming to Portugal, Dhruba. Why Portugal?
Okay. My wife family side, they were living here since 2010, and we had a privilege to spend one Christmas with them in 2011. It was the
Mhm.
first time we came to Portugal. And while we were doing our thing, and really got us going busy, because we were working with the communities, kind of doing some medical program, as well as sustainable farming was our thing. And we were doing all kinds of farming, hydroponic, aquaponic, and the soil. But the soil is most common, because the other two kind of high tech and need some equipment, things like that. So we
Yeah.
were middle of those what we were doing, and we had opportunity to come here and spend Christmas with my wife's government's family. And the first time I landed here, it felt like home. I don't know why, because of the weather. It's very similar and sunshine, like soil, everything, like products. You see it. I landed, I think, Christmas time, you have like oranges and things like that. We had the same thing back home. So it kind of connects everything you were eating there for a week. Didn't feel like we were missing home at all. That's how we connect for the first time. Then when we came here, then we thought, you know what, this is something to be thoughtful in the future if there's ever the opportunity. When we didn't know, but I already thought, especially in my retired life, you can put it that way. You know, definitely this should be a place to go in my retired life. That's how I felt.
Fair
The
enough.
bread, the olive. When I gone back, I probably took like 20 liters of the olive oil, believe it or not, in our suitcase because that much I loved it
Oh
because we don't
wow.
have the olives back home. So that's how I connect to this country. Then I had several other opportunity to come, just travel through in between. Then 2018, when we start like after we finished our construction project to keep this work going,
Mm.
and we had already sold because of the loans. We already had sold our house in order to build this new place, which is away from the city, in middle of the jungle. Actually, we can see the mountain leopard walk by, took our
Yeah.
goats, took our Labrador dog right off of the front yard. That's where we live, right into the jungle. So things were, rolling pretty good. But as a community was really into joining our hands with us. So we
Mm.
helped them during the rebuilding time. We brought the brick making machine and taught the community how to make the brick and make your own home. So that was kind of working together kind of situation. So it was very hard for us leave them right away and kind of jump out into on the plane and go into other country. It was very hard. So we waited, and 2018 we did a pre-trip. Me and my wife did a pre-trip. We haven't told kids yet they were going, but we wanted to kind of get their ideas. Well, we have found a school. We are near to the jungle, which is Sintra. We told them we were going to be near to the jungle. Do you think this is something you'd like to try? I said, well, kids are just nodding their heads. I said, like, okay, whatever. Then me and my wife, we found a school, small school, like in Sintra.
Mhm.
They were fair enough for us, like, okay, welcome, and we can help each other, and you kids can be here. And after we kind of decided, okay, school is there, Sintra is there, I'm sure we're gonna find a place there. All we need is a farm. So we kind of decided this is where we belong to. Then 2019, April 30th, we jumped on the plane, just like pack up our stuff and let's go. So
Wow.
if we had not come at that time, we wouldn't be here. I don't know how long with this thing. So we're very lucky. Family is very lucky and happy that we are here because we had somebody. We wanted to give our responsibility to another generation because we
Yeah.
had already been working for 20 years, and we didn't
Yes.
want to continue that in our kind of old retire kind of thing, because I started my hard work when I was 14 years old, and I have already given 30 years plus just being hard on the ground, like really hard work in the farm. So I thought, let's go take it easy. We can still help because we still have to raise support for the program we have back home. So let's go. I think we will just start our new life doing farm, and especially we chose Portugal. Another reason is the Nepalese community here, which
Okay.
are
That's
very
what.
much involved into the farming, restaurants. But most of them, like they really kind of come as a worker and they turn into the businessman. But for us, we really wanted to reach out to those people who really have a similar interest in the farming. So we wanted to kind of took this one kind of abandoned house almost for 17 years with the farm, with the jungle in the back. I wouldn't say the farm, jungle in the back. So you can see on the picture me and my wife cutting day and night from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. At that time, we had like long days to work. So kids are working with us, cleaning the farm, making trees like a select which is fruit, which is not fruit. So we selected for I think 3 months. That's how we did get the farm going. I mean jungle being cut. Then we started rubbing the floors, rubbing the tiles of this old house, and kind of okay. I think this is where we belong. This is how we need to do it. So we as a family we started cleaning and make the place livable, workable, plantable. That's what we did for 6 months. Then that's the time when I really your program inspired me. When I got on in online and when I saw it, I said, "Wow, I can learn about language, learn about a culture through your program. I can make some connections with the friends that you get on online." So that was really motivated me to get on going with this thing. So I was really happy with that. Then
Is that Dhruba? Is that the jungle picture there?
that was the jungle. I mean,
That's
that's
what you.
not even jungle. That's like after a bit of cauliflowers. I think that's like a medium. The first was a
Incredible.
jungle cut by the automatic machine. My goodness. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
You've worked so you because it's so funny. You were just saying there, it was time for you to put your hard work behind you, having
yeah,
worked hard all your
yeah,
life, and
yeah.
now this is just now a little bit of a hobby, working from
Exactly.
five in the
It's like
morning
a
to the night.
exactly passion. I think passion never never dies is what I think the example of what we have. Yeah,
Incredible, incredible. So
yeah, yeah.
you managed to tame nature and start working in conjunction with nature. And,
Exactly.
and the pictures I've seen from your place are so amazing, so beautiful. You know, people having a great time, and obviously you've got your
Yeah,
family vibe there.
yeah.
The cockerel in the distance. Are you going to give us a little bit of a tour now? I know you fell over, you slipped over. Barbara got you, didn't she? And you slipped over on the wet rain and hurt your wrist.
Yeah, for me, it like was crazy because it was raining continuously, and
Yeah.
like I fell down from the tree from whatever heights, but never heard anything like this. But from probably like just walking, come on, man, a 3 4 feet fall, I broke my wrist. I think like I just gotten old. That's what I felt, and like okay,
We'll get well
exactly.
soon with that. Lots of love from all of us in this community to you.
Thank
Well, you're
you,
part
thank
of it
you,
anyway. But everyone here, I'm sure, wishes you a speedy recovery with your wrist because you've
thank
got to
you
get
so
that arm
much.
better so that you can be back in the garden at full capacity again. But
Absolutely,
I'll make a big screen of you so we can get a bit of a tour if that's all right. I'm presuming you'll
sure.
still be able to hear me. Can you hear me still if I give you that view?
Yes, I got it.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Okay. So we're getting some feedback. What a fantastic person, very inspiring. Absolutely agree. Gary Garvo in Alvazara, Joe Johnson. What an amazing story. And we're only I think we're only two-thirds through of the story, aren't we? So you've got chickens, ducks, and turkeys here. How many?
Correct. All total, like I think 100 with the babies and the big ones in the
Amazing.
three different categories of small. Me and my son made house with the scrap from the lisu from the streets. We
Incredible.
collect different things and bring a home and make a home for them. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And what have you got in the way of veggies there, Dhruba? Because you post up some incredible pictures of food.
Absolutely. Okay, our veggie story is like this. When Nepali community here found we are the first one producing the vegetables here. Now you can see some of them are actually Portuguese, but what the pictures I send you, our seasons back home with kind of because right now it's a monsoon like I told you, and we have not so much. We had the corn trees here, like this cabbage patties here was full of corn. We had like our family was enough to be fed for month and a half, like grill, cooked everything. As far as the vegetable goes, because of our community around here in Lisbon, when they heard about us, we're the first family doing this. They said, and what they, it would be very nice if you grow some of our veggies from back home. So we had actually thought about that, and I even brought a tool. You can see it's on the floor somewhere. I even brought this tool from Nepal. This is like a
Oh, I
special tool.
see.
We work in the farm.
Yeah.
I'm
Was that
sorry,
like
I cannot use the another hand to pick it up. But anyway, we were
of
so
course.
prepared. Bring our own seeds, bring our own tool. When we decide like we're gonna have little farm, no matter what, because we used to growing our own veggies because we were feeding 30 people back home when we had the earthquake and the 6 months lockdown from India. So everything was blocked, not to come into the country. So we were already prepared there. And that, like, here is nothing for to feed one family, you know what I'm saying, when we saw this land. So we started growing our own veggies because we got seeds, all kinds of seeds, I mean, that we grow back there. But for me, it was trial because here, the problem we found is the rain in Sintra. Second, which is unexpected all the time. And another thing was I don't know what you call caracóis. I think it's snail. Is
Oh yes,
Portuguese
Caracóis.
caracóis.
Caracóis, yeah.
That is crazy killing us, our vegetable. So we're growing all kinds of vegetables. We have a very strange looking was the bottle gourd, which I showed to the picture Last time, bottle gourd, it's a long, like a long tubal thing. It's in the pumpkin category, but Portuguese are so strange. Like, what is this? Never saw this kind of thing. And we have a bitter gourd, and we have like I think 20 different vegetable shushu. I think
Oh
they call
yeah,
it shushu here,
yeah,
and that also we brought from, but they have it here also, and that's growing really well. We put the shushu on the fig tree, so it's kind of growing well on that. And most of the leafy vegetable back home. But our main target is trying to grow the vegetable our community likes, to make a connection with them. That's one reason.
yeah,
Another reason is we have creating a kind of Airbnb. Anyway, so the story on that is, so now we built a couple of rooms beside the garage. So we moved into the garage rooms. Then this antique, few hundred years old antique house, which needs lots of work in it. When we have funds, we're gonna renovate this. Then we're gonna convert that into Airbnb. And our goal is focus on the farm, raise some support, raise some connection by selling these vegetables or getting the community involved. And at the same time, they can come here, they can cook themselves, or we can teach them, because our experience is also teaching the Nepali cooking experience, which
oh
soon we're going to
yeah,
be launch on the online, which you guys can find it on Sintras farming family page, more details there. Anyway,
yeah.
so we're trying to, this little farm is not going to cut us, because we really want bigger. So more people can be involved. If volunteers want to come, they can join our hands, staying here, helping us, mostly learning and teaching at the same time. As a like as a community, can interest grows, I think this is not going to be enough. But as far as
Oh,
I have
beautiful.
some energy in me, I want to just kind of keep going, keep growing. So we have just started that Sintra's farming family page. Through that, we're gonna be the cooking experience, Nepali mostly, but we do Chinese, Indian, everything. But the main goal, in order to be there, is grow your own spices. So speaking of spices, we grow garlic, ginger, onion, Nepali spices, which is the like probably the worst, most spicy chilies we grow here, and some of them cannot even smell it. Even just bring it on the table, open your pot, they're like, oh, no, that's not gonna come on my food. That's kind of spicy we are growing, and we're growing the turmeric powder. I don't know what they call it, like yellow powder. We put in the curry, so we have every spices you name it. We have in our garden, but this is very little, very just the trial phase only. So we are
Yeah.
just launching the GoFundMe program as a target of 25,000 euro, to kind of support us and kind of come and work with us or join our hands in a way of learning and teaching process, that this will allow us to expand our farming, expand our target, but also raise support through the farming, through the cooking experience, through the Airbnb, actually to support back home to those women and children who are living with HIV AIDS, and also the girls who need to go to school and continue their education to rebuild their life through our program.
So that's the big circle here is to generate awareness and funds to keep challenging this terrible
Exactly,
thing. Yeah. Okay.
exactly,
Amazing.
exactly.
I put it on the screen there on Facebook, Sintras family, farming family. I would love for us to have a expats Portugal field trip, day trip to come and see you
Absolutely.
and come
I
and.
cannot wait.
Yeah, I mean,
Cannot wait.
all of the great things of life to me are there behind you and around you, Dhruba. You know, family, people, growing food, eating food, and just hanging out together. And you know, what better than for all of that to be in a good cause as well? It's amazing what you're doing. Bon dia
Thank you.
from the Isle of Skye, up in the north, very north of Scotland. There, such an uplifting, positive life at Sintra's farming family. Thank you so much for sharing. Hopefully, we'll be in the Algarve in a month. Yeah, you'll be passing by Sintra pretty much, I think, if you're on the way from Skye to the Algarve, so you can pop in for some of those hot chilies that
Hmm.
we were talking about. On a kind of really mundane level, I was thinking, you know, all the challenges I think I've got about, you know, growing vegetables and, you know, what charities to get involved with. I feel so incompetent and I don't know, pathetic next to your incredible efforts, Dhruba.
Hmm.
What drives you, and what would you say to people who just want to get involved and start growing food and start giving back to
Hmm.
the community? How do we power that up more generally across society? I think we need more of
Hmm.
that, don't we?
Exactly. I think really to see it was possible was when when we had a 6 months, nothing you can buy from the store, or nothing you can go and get it yourself, even if you had money. 6 months of living locked down back home, around earthquake time, which was really hard time. At
Mm,
that time, when we had we already had doing some farming in our work there in the mountains, and when we started growing something, and we were not only able to feed 30 people in our house, we were able to feed our community in not only providing food, but like providing some techniques. So when you can provide that kind of like grow your vegetables and things, you can survive. We had trees to cut down to cook the food. We had a food to cook grown from your own garden. Pick whatever you like. You had a chicken. What else you need? So when we did that, we were able to cook that that many people, and in that kind of condition, I think like that's the best thing you can do back to the nature. So
yeah,
you grow your own food, don't depend on anything. You are eating healthy, you are eating organic stuff. Here the reason we have the birds is that's what the we're going to use their like all the trash that comes from them. They make this kind of rotational. So
yes,
we,
indeed.
we, we can just grow our stuff, and when we realize that we grow our own food, I think that's what the world requires now, lacking of like organic stuff. So when you
Yeah,
do it, I think this would be just a start. But for us, but this that was the most driving pattern for me, when I could feed 30 people, from the small garden, to be enough. And mostly the kids were part of the program. What I was doing, they were helping me. You can see there on the pictures, like this, selecting the field, selecting the plants. And when that I saw that happiness in their face, trying to teach them and learning in their young life, like they were like 12, 13 years old, but they're already into the gardening, already growing things. My kids are like, here we have like Rachel, Ruben, every time I'm in the garden, they're doing something. They're doing something. So I think that is a beautiful part. This today's generation needs to see bit of bit of do their own thing, rather than depending on the stuff from Pingados, continent. I know it's not hard for it's not easy for everybody. It's hard, but for us,
yeah.
we hardly go to get stuff from the thing. During the COVID, we were pretty much locked in, not because of we didn't want to go out, but we just had enough here, and not only for us, we were able to feed other people around.
Amazing. And of course, we're making the Portugal connection here. This country has such a great tradition of
Oh my
doing what you're
goodness.
doing, right? And you seem to be kind of
Absolutely.
having a hybrid of the best of Portuguese culture
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
hybrid with Nepalese culture. Yeah. So it sounds like your love of Portugal, your love affair with Portugal when you first arrived and thought, wow, this is great. That hasn't ended. That's got
Uh-uh.
better, is it?
Uh-uh. Yeah.
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 The connection with Portugal continues and grows, does it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The worst part here is every time I go around, drive around, trying to find some seeds for my like for exploring seeds into the farming stores, and when I go to get my stuff from near town for food for my birds, when I go do things like that, when I see like an open field just with the weeds and the crazy things, it really breaks my heart that what is going on here. Why you cannot grow things, or why people are not into farming. Like you look at it, like lands, and the lands do nothing. All they do is collect those hay, put it on the roll, sell it for the horses. Come on, you can do so many better than that. And
Yes.
that's I think is the only hard part for me to see around here.
Well, if you come up to my part of Portugal, you will see people over the age of 70, I think 70, 80, and 90-year-olds look in gardens much like yours, still
Uh-huh.
growing their own food. There's a generation that hasn't forgotten this. And we understand, don't we, when you're younger and in a more sort of modern way of life, you are going to those supermarkets you spoke about. But I think hopefully if you can get a few young Portuguese kids, as kids across the world getting involved and interested in growing their own food,
Hmm.
I think, as you said earlier on, that's such a brilliant thing to
Yeah.
learn about. It's so natural
Yeah.
and real, isn't it? You learn about
Yeah.
life.
Right. Well, I forgot one thing to mention there. What I wanted to do, another thing with the kids. We had two schools from the community. One from my own kids' school.
Yeah.
Sorry, forgive me with this clothes thing. I just kind of moving another part of
Your
the.
wife, yeah, your wife won't forgive you for that. My wife
Yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah, yeah. So I build this place for the live music for the weekend, because our Nepali
Oh,
community really requested that. So we have a live music program every weekend, just to kind
yeah,
of come and test our food from our kitchen. So anyway,
yeah.
more salads here in the different.
Oh,
This was
beautiful.
all the cemented floor. and I kind of put the wall around and make the salad because it didn't need much soil. So I just this was like a walking path into the salad path right here. So anyway, what I was saying is with the kids thing. So two school kids already have taken a tour in our garden before COVID time, just because they saw the food on the plate, but they never saw how they grow. So
Yes.
they were like, okay, schools send the kids and the teachers. We want to see how you grow and how the plants grow, how the vegetable grow. So we have a couple of family from Holland that they had a kids which they want to do the similar thing, so they put the word out for us, and they brought their kids, and the school and other school program came here and be part of the whole day program, learning how food grows from. They brought the seed, they brought the plant, then after a few months of time, and how it grows. So they did the kind of pre and post visit, and they saw exactly how it grows. So that was a
Circle of
really,
life.
really great experience. I like to do that more and more. But with this little thing, I can do very, very small things. That's why we want to grow a little bigger and do bigger things.
How much space is there? How many people can you feed, and how much land have
Okay,
you got there?
feeding wise, normally we are feeding as a Airbnb. If it kick starts, we have a six rooms to be operated, near future soon. When we have a 6 rooms, probably easily 12 people, yeah, from the living, lodging wise. But i
Yeah.
made i made the wood hut and the front place of the house that we can put. One day we had the get together on the birthday occasion. We had 41 people, 35 comfortably on the chairs around when the music was going on, but 41 standing around. So 30 to 40 easily, if this COVID things leaves us behind
And you fed them
someday.
all? Did you feed them all from the garden?
From the garden and from our kitchen, yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
Because all you do is kill one turkey, that's 18 kilo, kill two patus, 10 kilo, and three chicken, bang. What else you need?
I've got to ask you, do you do that yourself?
Oh my goodness, not only me, now my I have a one limb, but my son, he's only like 10 years old. Can you believe it? He cuts from guts to the throat, man.
A man's got to eat, and a young man is learning how to eat there.
Yeah. If
Incredible.
I'm
That
not here, people are hungry. Got to eat, man.
got to eat. What an incredible insight into your family life and your project and what you're trying to do in the world. I'm so inspired. On our Expat Man Cave on a Friday night, we give out a Barcelo Awards, the cockerel of Portugal. You're definitely ruling the roost there.
Mm.
Alpha male, top cockerel, Barcelo Award winner this week. I'll be talking about you tonight in the Expat Man Cave. Dhruba, thank you so much for your tour. Anything else you'd like to say before we finish today? I mean, how
No,
do
no.
people get involved? Where's the GoFundMe? Can people find that on Sintras Farming Family?
Yeah, I think I sent you the link there on the very last. I think you can find the stuff I sent on the very last. I
Yeah,
sent the link there. So we're just targeting that. That is our first fundraising ideas.
yeah.
Not only kind of just raising money, but raising actually connections. If they want a relationship building kind of thing, if they want to get us going. And this is not where we want to limit ourselves. We want to grow. We want to affect more people's life, children's life especially. And at the same time, we want to raise income so we can continue to do our program, what we've been doing back home.
Amazing. The GoFundMe link is now in the comments. Anonymous user, Facebook user saying thank you. I'll add to that, Drew, but thank you for being so inspiring and
Thank you so much.
sharing with us your story this morning. I'm
Thank you
sure
so
our
much, man.
paths will cross again. I wonder, maybe we could do a live stream connection with the Nepalese concerts that you do at the weekend, maybe one weekend.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We actually have a plan for the Sunday because Nepali Christmas is this week. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm just praying so hard not to rain those days, but don't look like it. But we have a Sunday night is the concert night for our family, but we're gonna limit our numbers, trying to be around 10 to 12 because of the restrictions. But because of the out yard is not inside, because of inside we cannot do many. But outside we probably will gather just for the heck of it. I think 12, 14, 15, I don't know.
We'll have a
Yeah.
super time. What is the greeting for the Nepalese greeting for your happy festivities?
It's actually most of the people kind of celebrate as a Hindu culture. This is a
Oh,
10 days celebration which is already began, but because
yeah.
of the COVID, and this is the time they have a 15 days holiday, and they can all travel from around the world to get to be together. That's why I compare with the Christmas. But this is very Hindu holiday. For us, it's not so much because we are with the Christians. Kind of followers, but for our community we still want to create that platform that rather, whatever we have grown here, come and enjoy and celebrate what you have to do with the
Multi-faith.
cultural dress, cultural music, and cultural food. What else you need?
I think the common theme here is connection and love and community, isn't it?
Exactly, respect one another.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, Dhruba, so good to talk to you. Let's stay in touch and see how this unfolds. See how we can all help each other with this. Thank you so
Thank you
much. Really
so much, man.
appreciate you
My
being.
honor. Thank you so much
Oh,
for allowing me to share my story on your show, man.
well, not at all, not a problem. Great to be with you. So I was just a voice coming from the darkness, I think, there whilst we gave you the whole
Thank you.
screen. I forgot completely. But
Thank you.
thanks, thanks so much, Dhruba. Speak to
Thank
you soon,
you.
mate, and enjoy your festivities. Bye for now.
Please, please. Thank you so much. Good day, brother. All right.
Wow. Okay. Bon fin de semana to Dhruba, to you all. Let's draw a line there for this week. What an amazing week it's been. Spoken to some incredible people. Yeah. Bon fin de semana. Ciao, ciao. Talago. Brazos, beijinhos. And we'll see you tonight on the Expat Man Cave if that's your thing. And of course, again on Monday for the Good Morning Portugal show. Take care and bye for now.